Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, hasn't it? So in today's video, I wanted to just do kind of a general update. I wanted to kind of ramble and talk about some different things that have been on my mind. I wanted to give you the update on my life. I've covered a couple new different topics, and so just kind of wanted to tie up those loose ends, at least for now. We're going to talk about my curly hair journey. I wore my curly hair so you can kind of get a feel for how that's going. I feel like it's definitely different. We're going to talk about my new jobs, plural. We're going to talk about kids and life emerging from the pandemic. We're going to talk about RV life still, and we're going to do a little surgery neck update because that's kind of why most people are here anyway. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, stick around. I'll try to do some time stamping, at least either in the description or in the little player down below, so you can skip ahead if there's a specific piece of content that you're interested in. I think that this has kind of been my little place, especially during the pandemic and during my health stuff, to just have a little community of people. We're all kind of like-minded people, or at least looking for information on different topics. Before we move on, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notifications, etc. It's really helpful to us creators just to know that you're out there and that you're watching. So before we move on, go ahead and do that right now. Click down below. Thank you. And leave a comment if you want, and let's get on with the video. Anyway, I'm sitting outside today because it's finally warm out. It's finally summertime. I had so many plans of like other videos and vlogs and things to do, but life has just gotten so much more busy. Things are starting, and they seem to all be starting at the same time. Everything is coming back online. Work is starting, kids' activities are starting, travel is more open. Today, I wore my hair curly, and I've been doing this a lot. I think I've talked about basically through the start of the pandemic, I just wasn't leaving the house. I wasn't going anywhere. I didn't need to see anybody. I didn't need to do anything. So I was just kind of letting my hair air dry, and I was noticing how much curl there was. And I've always had sort of this curly hair, but I never really knew how to take care of it. So this is the current state. I feel like it has gotten a lot curlier. I've gotten rid of a lot of the dead, bleached, damaged pieces, and so it's allowed my hair to become more curly and be more of itself. I still am working on like styling it right and figuring out how to control the frizz and having, day 2 and 3 curly hair that survives, but working on it. It's a work in progress, so it is what it is. But I thought we would, at least for my own self, I would document the current state of affairs. I still do, straighten my hair, or at least like curl it with a curling iron sometimes, just for change. But I wondered, how it would go, what my hair would really be capable of. Sometimes I wonder if this hair is good for me. Like, I think sometimes that this style makes me look older, which I'm at a point in life where that's not the goal. The goal is to look younger. So this is my my curly hair progress. I think it looks pretty good most of the time. I can pull it back and get different styles and stuff like that, but I haven't had a formal like curly cut, so I don't know if that would help. But this is the curly do. I have been keeping my sulfates and my silicones out of the hair. I really think that just paying attention to that stuff has helped too. Like, my hair strands seem thicker. I think I have more regrowth in lots of places, so my hair just seems healthier in general. So I think those are all good things that I've been doing over the course of time. I'm sure I could be doing it different or better, but I'm learning as I go. And I spent such a long time thinking my hair was hopeless that anything is an improvement right now. So so that's the curly hair update, doing some new products, some hair masks, styling, and doing some protective stuff so that I can keep the frizz down and keep it moisturized and things like that. The one thing that has seemed to help a lot is what people on the internet have called plopping. For me, I use like an old t-shirt, and I pile my hair up and I kind of wrap it in the front and let it dry that way after I put like the product in, so it kind of dries in a scrunched up way. And that's really helped kind of define the curls and keep it from getting like all kinds of frizzy and everything like that. So I think that's made a big difference in how I've styled and done my hair moving forward. I think a lot of people come to the channel to hear surgery updates and lifestyle updates after surgery, and successes with surgery, and thinking about doing this for themselves, or they've just gone through it and what's the future hold for them. And of course, everybody's story is different, but I think that it's been an interesting update with life to deal with with surgery and kind of re-emerging into the world in multiple ways. So, you know, for me, I backed off of work for many reasons. Back when I had my first surgery, that's the first reason that I stopped working, with kind of just on accident. I didn't really go back. I just didn't go back to work. My benefits weren't contingent upon my job, so I just kind of took the time off for recovery and stayed off. I had a small child, and in that time that I had been off of work, we had a second child. So I was in, you know, baby mode, mom mode, you know, starting a family and all of that. So I had more important things taking up my time. So I have not been in the workplace formally for several years. I have worked on my own, like, side jobs and small businesses and things like that, but not in the traditional, like, 9-to-5 sense. So one of the other things that happened recently is that I decided to go back to work. I had an opportunity, and really these things weren't things that I sought out, honestly, at all. But it was just kind of time. It was financially smart for me to look for some employment, and I had been home, and we had worked a system that was going to work for childcare for us, and so with grandparents and things. So I applied and got accepted for just a basic secretary kind of job. I didn't want to do anything too physical right off the bat, and I just wanted to see if I could manage the lifestyle. It had been such a long time since I'd gotten up consistently every day, had to get the kids ready, had to, you know, go out of the house. And so just getting back into the workforce was kind of a big update and a big change for us and our family. It impacted our whole family. So, you know, the things that we took for granted while I was home as the mom and the stay-at-home person, we had to make a plan for. We had to make a plan for childcare and for who's picking up everybody when, and what if we had, you know, what if one of the kids was sick, and how do we manage all of that? So that happened a couple of months ago. I just started this job. I got trained, just doing, you know, receptionist stuff. It was not super challenging, but it was kind of interesting. It was in a law firm, something totally different field, different area. So it was just a way to get back out of the world, out of the house, talk to other humans. It was right as people were still kind of, where I live, we're still kind of in that half and half vaccinated, wearing a mask, but the job was actually really good for that for me, because I'm pretty cautious with all of that stuff. So I was pretty much by ourselves. We were all in our own separate little offices. Not too many people were coming into the office for appointments, because everybody had gotten used to Zoom and digital or virtual things. So it was pretty nice. But after I had started that, I got a message or phone call from a former colleague. My life before kids and before surgery and everything was as a pediatric physical therapist. So I spent 10 years doing that up until the time I had my first neck surgery. And so a former colleague from that career contacted me and said that there was a position open in our local school system. And that might be the only way that I was willing to come back to the physical therapy world. I had just been kind of burnt out, and I had kind of felt like it had injured me before. So I got that call, and like I said, that would probably be the best way for me to come back into the physical therapy world, is as part of the school system. It's a pretty stable job. It's a nice schedule. I can be more in tune with what my kids are doing. So when they're in school, I'll be working. When they're out of school, I'll have those times off. So the schedule is really nice. And so it was kind of one of those things where it was just like, you have to be prepared and open to new opportunities. And, you know, I had posted a video a while ago. If you go back and look, there's a video of us clearing out and making our new office space back in the beginning of the year. And so our plan at that point was, we're going to be working from home. We need this office space. We need to clear out a bunch of old junk. And so I had packed up a lot of my therapy materials, a lot of our, oh, it's starting to rain. I think I'm under cover though. We should be fine as long as you can hear me. I had packed up a lot of my therapy stuff, and so I really had not intended to come back to this type of work. But it was there, and it sort of fell into my lap. I applied and got accepted, and it will be a pay increase. It'll be a better thing for our family. I'm a little nervous. It's something I haven't done it in a while. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been reviewing and trying to kind of get my brain back in that thought process and just thinking about how to do that work and how to write for that work and how to think about that type of work. And it's always going to be a little bit different because it's a school system, so their requirements are different and things like that. But I will start that at the end of the month. When everybody goes back to school, I'll go back to school with them, and I'll be doing some therapy for the students in our local school system. So life has its funny way of kind of just sort of happening, and some things you plan for and some things you don't. And so I think just kind of being in the right place at the right time, being, obviously certain things you have to be prepared for. I have to have the right degrees, I have to have the right things, I have to not be working a different job, or, so yeah, can you hear the rain? Is that giving you some calming and refreshing feelings? Okay, where was I? I took a little weather break. It was getting a little loud in the background, but so where was I? I was starting a new job. I'm going back to therapy, and I was talking about how I think you just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time, and sometimes it's about preparation. Don't they say that luck is when preparation meets opportunity? Something like that. I don't know that I was super extremely lucky, but it's definitely one of those things where I think there's lots of opportunities that are coming back online now. And so if you've got the right skills, if you took the time, if you've been to school, or if you're thinking about going back, or if you started something new while you were in quarantine time and you learned something, maybe you have skills and the opportunity will present themselves soon. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's something that I can maintain. Like I said, I am nervous about the physicality of the job and seeing if I can keep up with that, but we're going to try, and we're going to see how it goes, and I will be more careful with myself. I think I'm a little, when you first come out of school and you're first trying your first job or first couple jobs, I think you always are trying to prove yourself. Everybody does. And so you don't want to be considered inept. You don't want to be considered stupid. And so I think that sometimes maybe we make choices that aren't in our best interest as new grads and things like that. So I think that I have a little more maturity now. I have a little more perspective. And I think I can probably, at least I'm going to go into this with a thought to try to balance things a little bit better. I got very burnt out and didn't have a whole lot of support doing what I was doing before. And so I think in this environment, in a school setting, I'm hoping that there's going to be a little more interaction with colleagues and a little more collaboration and just feeling like I have a home. So we'll see if that happens. But it's kind of weird how I finally just made the decision to get back out into the world, and then opportunities have presented themselves. So we'll just keep going. We'll see how it goes. But that's kind of one of the updates. I know that I probably said in previous videos that I didn't think I would ever go back to therapy. I was cleaning out my room, and I thought I could pack up all the therapy books and notes and equipment and things that I had. But now I gotta pull them all back out. I go back at the end of the month to start the school year like everybody else when they start school. So we will kind of get that moving and see how that goes. But that's a big update in my life, that we're going back to therapy land, and having to kind of review some stuff, get a little more detailed. Some things have fallen into the cobwebs of my brain, and so trying to kind of work on that and remember everything that I haven't done in a couple of years. So that's one of my big updates, is back to work. I don't know if that's a good thing, because we were getting kind of, it's kind of nice the way that we were living our life during quarantine, good and bad. I think it was hard on me, and I think a lot of people in my phase of life. I wasn't young and without children and could kind of make my own schedule, and I would have loved to have done some more self-improvement stuff while I was off these last couple of year and a half. I would have loved to have learned a new language or studied something or just done anything to help improve myself, exercise, whatever. But I was parenting, and we were stuck in a world where we had children in our care 24/7, no breaks, very few breaks, and it was hard. I think a lot of people in our phase of life, my husband and I, you know, he went to work, but it was in our house. So trying to balance that and parent and do homeschooling, all like, you know, it's, I don't want to say that parenting is this bad, but I mean, it's kind of like being stuck in prison. You're stuck in your house, especially in the winter. Like, we would do school at home, work at home, eat at home, play at home, have to do cleaning. Like, our house was just a mess all the time because we just lived in it. I think this whole pandemic thing it's been tough. Like, it's been tough on a lot of people. It's been tough for people that are single. If you're living alone, you're very alone, or have been, and so it's hard for people in all different stages. If I had older children, I would have had to make tough decisions about if they were going to school or if they were going to go see their friends, and so definitely has been hard. But I think hopefully that we're moving in the right direction. I think things are still kind of tenuous. Things are still not perfectly back to normal, and there's definitely some things to be careful of. But we are trying to move forward in our life, and so we are getting back into school activities and things for our kids, doing a few more things. One big thing that we also have done lately is we just got back from a vacation. Finally left the state. My daughter has, up until then, she had never been in a restaurant high chair. She'd never been out of the state. She'd never been in a car for more than maybe an hour. So we had a big excursion. Went to Florida, went to the beach. I was gonna vlog our vacation. I brought along my gimbal and everything to do it, and it was just too much work. It was too much work to manage the kids and to have fun and to actually have a vacation and, you know, have them have fun and just kind of be in the moment. I really just wanted to do that. So I have a few videos here and there. I'm gonna probably upload a little small video, family, you know, vacation photo time, mostly for us and for posterity and for my kids to watch later. So stay tuned and see if I get a quick video up of our first vacation. It was kind of fun. We surprised the kids with a few things, and so a little travel vloggy possibly coming in the future. So stay tuned. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, etc. You can see our trip maybe coming up if I get it going. Let's see. Oh, one of the things that did happen while I was on this trip, though, was we drove to Florida, and so it was, you know, 2 long days of driving, and I was mostly passenger, so I was doing a lot of twisting and reaching and handling the kids and maintaining, you know, snacks and lost toys and blankets and things like that. So I ended up with a really stiff neck, like super sore, couldn't move for the first 3 or 4 days. I was pretty miserable when we got to our destination, and so it never really went away while we were on vacation. It would get better throughout the day. It would kind of loosen up and stuff, but every morning it was pretty severe, and I was concerned that I had done something to myself. And, you know, with neck surgery history like I had, I was concerned how that was affected, and I have started a little bit to have that lump feeling if you've had the surgery, that throat kind of sensation, that swallow. It's gotten a little bit better. I don't notice it as much, but it may have been related to all those muscles kind of tightening up and contracting. Anyway, I felt kind of cruddy on vacation in that respect, but I came home and I used that cervical traction that I've showed you before. I'll link to it and put a picture up here, but it's something that I just got on Amazon. It's a little pneumatic thing. You pump it up and it kind of gives you some traction through your neck. And I'm not kidding. Like, I did not have high expectations, but I thought I need to try something. I used that traction. I sat with it on for maybe like half an hour, watched a show, just tried to relax. I'm not kidding you. Like, I really didn't think this would happen. I haven't had really a problem since then. It whatever it did, it decompressed stuff, it relaxed, and I have felt better. So I really did not think that was going to happen, but anyway, it worked. So if you have one of those or you want the link to it, I'll post it down below. But it seriously did alleviate my pain, and I don't know, it relaxed the muscles. It gave them a chance to kind of not have to work so hard to hold my head up. And that thing, I was super surprised. I thought maybe it would be temporary, but ever since I got home and did that, like, knock on wood, I have been better. So, you know, after this after this surgery, I think I've talked about it before, I'm always hyper vigilant. I'm super worried. I don't want to have to do this again for a third time, whatever. I'm just more careful with myself, and I'm more like aware. I don't want people, like when we're playing or doing stuff with the kids, I'm really careful not to get like hit in the head or a ball thrown at me or stuff like that. I'm really trying to be more careful. And you're just more aware of that. You're just more protective of yourself. And so I was worried that something bad was happening from I don't know if I got in a weird position in driving, but anyway, I just wanted to say, for me, that thing worked. And if you're having trouble, that might be something that would work for you. Or even just like the regular cervical collar that could just give your neck a break for a little bit. But I'm super surprised. That thing I used one time, it was almost like a miracle. I've used it before and it just kind of helped for a little bit, but whatever was happening to me for this particular instance, that cervical collar, that traction device was really helping. So maybe that's something that will work for you guys. I'm never out of the woods, like I always say. I'm never totally 100%. I always have little muscle twitches and little things that come and go, but yeah, it's kind of been back to normal here after I got home, which kind of sucks. I wish I would have packed it. That's going to be my next thing. I'm always going to pack that thing when I go on vacation. Sorry, I keep having to start and stop this video because of the weather. I wanted to do a nice summer outdoor video, but it's kind of not the greatest day for it, but it's the day I have time, so it's when we're doing it. But anyway, tell me your stories in the comments. Tell me how you're coping with getting back on track, either after surgery or after the pandemic, or you know, how are you doing with life? What's going on? How are you moving forward in any way? It doesn't always have to be, you know, moving upward, or you know, just moving on one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. I think eventually we get somewhere and we don't even realize it. So that's kind of cool. If you've come here for the RV content, that's still part of what we're doing. We had time, we got this RV, we got it painted, we got it all ready to go. We've gone on a few small trips, and we've kind of had to hit pause on that because life started happening again. We didn't have all this free time. We didn't have all this, you know, unending work from home opportunities and stuff now. So we're not traveling as much anymore, but we are still planning to. It's also really hot, and I don't know that I want to go and trust the RV just yet in that kind of condition. So that's part of it. But we will do some more things in the fall. We've had some opportunities. We're just deciding sometimes it's easier to just have a hotel, or we haven't completely converted to that RV life. We had an opportunity to go to a friend's wedding out of state. We considered taking the RV, but we thought it's better to have our little car and get around quicker and park easier. And if we would have parked in an RV park, we still don't have a tow vehicle or a dinghy car. Is that what you call it? A towed? We still don't have a towed vehicle to get us to where we need to go once we're in a RV park situation. So we don't have all the kinks worked out, but it's still something that we're working on, and hopefully we'll get more opportunity to travel the weekends and things like that as we go. So that's probably our plan. We'll be the weekend warrior RVers, but we've learned a lot. It's been fun. It's been an interesting thing. It's been a nice place to have. Like, we have an RV if we need to. If we need to go somewhere, if we need a spare room, or need, you know, if we can't find a place to stay, we always have that opportunity now. So that's kind of interesting. That's been an addition to our life. So we'll keep doing some more RV content when we're able, but for now we've just done a couple trips, and that's hard with kids too. Like RV, at least with my kids are crazy. They are active. They do not want to sit still. They do not want to be cooped up. And you know, I have a not quite 2-year-old. She's just not ready to listen to directions. You know, she's very, very independent, which is great, but she, you know, she's wild. And so keeping track of her and keeping her safe, and you know, it's never a vacation. Parents don't get a vacation when you leave. It's just the same responsibilities, but in a different place, which is harder because then you're not in a familiar place. So it's definitely an adjustment to do the RV thing or to do any kind of vacation. So thanks for listening to my rambling and my updates. I hope you cared at all. So yeah, so make sure, like I always say, to do the whole thing, do your liking, do your subscribing, make sure you follow me so that I can keep creating awesome new content for you, and if you have any suggestions, I'm always open to hear that. I've gotten lots of comments, especially on my on all my surgery videos, so I'm rooting for you all. I'm glad to see that you are hopefully getting some information from me, and yeah, so just leave me a comment. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. I know a lot of people watch but they don't subscribe, and if you just hit that subscribe button, you can put me at the bottom of your list. You can never watch it, but it's really helpful to the creators when you actually hit subscribe and tell YouTube that you're at least somewhat interested in what people are discussing. And so definitely I would appreciate a subscribe if you can. I'm trying to grow this small little community just a little bit. Hopefully I will be back soon with some more content, and we'll go from there. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.